Shalom, Barakati Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. All praises, honor, glory, blessings, and power be unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And Shalom to the prophets of that body, and Shalom to the 144,001 third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon you and your households. Um, you know, I made videos on this subject before, but it's something that needs to be touched upon as well, again and again and again. As Elder Apostle Gabar would say, in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, repetition is the father of skill. And the way our prophets, our forefathers in the Bible, um, our relatives in the Bible, all the prophets, from from the Most High, with the blessings of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, all the prophets, right, were on a similar page in terms of, passing on that enlightenment and torch, and they're all, as they say, singing from the same hymn sheet, right? And that's why certain scriptures are reiterated, uh, from a different prophet's mouth, in different timelines, because they're all on the same page. And repetition is the father of skill, right? So this is, for any Jakes that want to hear it, and also for myself as well, because you go through things, you go through things, and things of this world are not going to mean a damn thing very soon, okay? Because these things are in this world while this world exists. Like in the movie I Am Legend, when Will Smith runs into the bank trying to retrieve his dog, right? To make sure that the dog doesn't get infected or hurt by them, by the zombies or whatever those things were, and the money was piled up there. That money, that cash money, which people would wipe out a whole zip or postcode for, that was piled up there, millions and millions, didn't mean a damn thing in the movie, because that world was done. Okay, now the things that are in this world, whatever it could be, work related, personal, whatever it could be, spiritual, physical, whatever it could be, you go through these things, Jacob, because when I say Jacob, I'm talking to any Israelite out there, no matter what you look like, that believe in Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahshai. You watch the elders, apostles, great millstone, that are the mouthpiece of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahshai. You believe, okay, and you don't go adverse to the truth, okay. This is for you, all right. Things that are easily given are easily lost. That's in this world, but what we're going to have coming in the kingdom is forever, for eternity. But until we get there, you have to prove yourself, okay. You see these ancient type movies, or historically based movies, or whether they're true or not, if you watch them, like when a man wants a beautiful damsel's hand in marriage, and a father puts the man through a situation of certain hurdles he's got to jump, meaning he's got to prove himself to be worthy of being the damsel's husband, so to speak, right? Okay, he's not going to get a hand just, easily. Okay, you got to prove yourself. Okay, same way, the hopeful elect have to prove themselves, because in this world, when all hell breaks loose, it's going to be very, very, very scary. Okay, but on the same time, as soon as those fears jump in, you got Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshai comforting you. All right, we all have our specific angels aligned to us. All right, that we see daily, that we feel daily, to comfort us and they're here. Yahweh Hashem Yeshai sent them. So sometimes you might feel alone, but you're not alone. You're surrounded. Psalms 34 verse 7, right? The angel of the Lord encampeth around about them and delivereth them. Loosely paraphrasing. Psalms 34 verse 7. So we're surrounded. Okay? So, and we can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthens us. Loosely paraphrasing another scripture there. So you don't have to, even though in this world these things seem significant, whatever you're going through, this is all a test. This life, this world that we're in, we Israelites, is all a test. It's a huge, giant prison camp. We are in the last few seconds away from the prison doors being flung open. Yahweh Shai is around the corner. Esau can keep playing his game of chess, but Yahweh Shai is playing chess on both ends because the Lord controls all. Proverbs 20 and 24. So everybody is controlled by Yahweh Shai. So there is no free will. Man's goings are of the Lord. Then how can a man understand his own ways, right? So the Lord controls all. But you, Jakes, until we get to these, the financial crash and riots and race wars and, Jacob's trouble and micro C-hips and World War III, Jeremiah 30 verse 7, Revelation 13, 16, Revelation 11, 14, right? Before we get to that, to these things really happening on a very large scale, where this world is completely done. We know this is it. You don't have to worry about job interviews, looking for work. You don't have to worry about getting up early in the morning. Shit, you won't have to even worry about working out because working out is going to be a thing of the past because it's going to be survival at a time. Because you don't want to be working out, burning off calories, and there's a scarcity of food and water. You've got to preserve yourself and move when you got to move. Obviously, Yahweh Shemeshah is going to provide for his elect. But I'm just saying, at that time, all these things of this world are going to be out of the window. It's going to be survival. But until we get to that point, you're going to be tried and tried and tried. Okay, Jake? You're going to be tried. You're going to be tried. All right, whatever it could be. You're going to feel that, man, this is annoying me and, I want this to be resolved and, it's frustrating and, it's like that, you get angry, but then at the same time, Yahweh Shemashai knocks on your head, hello, the angels knock on your mind saying, it's a test. It's a test. It's a test, Then another scripture jumps into my mind, cast your burdens upon the Lord, cast your burdens upon Yahweh Shemashai. He shall not suffer the righteous to be moved. Okay? And you just cast your burdens upon the Lord, man. If you are his sheep, okay, the Lord is not going to put you in a predicament where you can't get out of it and you do something real crazy just to alleviate yourself from that situation, which will only cause you further harm in this world. Okay, the Lord is not going to put you in that predicament where, I'll give you an example. You're you're low on funds, you've got bills to pay, and then what you do is, you're frustrated, don't have patience, you don't have faith in Yahweh B'Hashem Yashai, and you go and jack someone, or you're at a friend's house, he's got, I don't know, $5,000 put away cash, for an emergency, or £5,000, and you go and take it. Don't do dumb shit. Don't rob a bank. Don't do no hold up. Don't do no stupid things like that. Okay? And if you do anything like that, that means of the Lord anyway. Unless you do something stupid like that, and the Lord gets you out of it and you learn from your lesson. But for the most part, the Lord won't put you through that. Okay? That's Psalm 55 and 22. Let me go to the NLT. I'm going to read it from the NLT. All right. I've got it on my phone. Psalm 55 and 22. Give your burdens to the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yashai, and he will take care of you. He will not permit the godly to slip and fall. Okay? The Lord is not going to put you in a predicament where you slip and fall. All right? Let me see if there's a G and T here as well. Just bear with me, man. Let's go to the Good News Translation. Psalm 55 and 22 again, GNT. Give your burdens to the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and he will take care of you. He will not permit the godly to slip and fall. Oh, it's the same one. It was the same sort of, let's go to the KJV, which is the closest to the Lashawan Kodash. Give your burdens to the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and he will take care of you. Oh, wait, one second. GNT. I pressed GNT, didn't I? Maybe I'm bugging. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Psalm 55 and 22, GNT. Leave your troubles with the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Hashai, and he will defend you. He never lets honest people be defeated. Okay? And who are the honest people? There's Jacob, isn't it? It's Jake. All right? Let's go to the KJV. Psalm 55 and 22. Cast thy burdens upon the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Hashai, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So you're not going to be put in a predicament like that. Okay? But you will be tried. Okay? The Lord is not going to put so much on you that you can't bear it. Okay? All right? 1 second. Okay, it's Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. So whatever you're going through, it's a test, because what happened there? 1 second. Oh, go here. Okay, so whatever you're going through, okay, is a test, okay, to build you up to the greater trials to come. When all hell breaks loose and your back is against a wall, if you haven't been tried and tested, like for example, when a product is made, okay, there's something called quality control. Can that product stand the heat? Can that product, I don't know, let's just say it's a glass tankard or a big giant sort of beer mug, right? Can that beer mug hold the weight of the liquid? Can the handle hold a whole pint or 2 pints of beer? Is it strong? Okay. Or if it's like a mug, can it hold? Can it? Can you pour hot water and make a coffee in that mug? Is that mug safe for somebody to use? Because you don't want that hot mug to fall and the hot liquid falls in your lap. The company will be sued, right? Because the product wasn't made. The quality control is not up to par. The same with you. The Lord Yahweh Shemeshah is trying you. You're going through a quality control process where, you're being tried and tested for the greater fire to come. Okay? It's going to get worse before it gets better. All right? But the thing is, we hopeful elect have Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Okay? And we're seeing the Lord do miracles now, showing himself. How much more when hell breaks loose? And we want hell to break loose. You know why? Because Yahweh Shemashah is going to show himself even more. Okay? Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. Excuse me. Actually, you know what? Let's go to 2 and 1. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. You're going to come to temptations. You're going to come, you might be tempted with the wide road instead of the straight gate. Okay? But wide leads to destruction, right? The straight gate, doing the right thing, is a hard thing for, it's a hard thing for most people, but for the elect, it's going to be hard, but then in your mind, that, shit, I'm not going to fall off this, this tightrope. I'm going to keep walking on this tightrope into the kingdom, the straight gate. Okay? Because there's nothing in this world, because the hopeful elect hate this world. They hate this world. Okay? They hate this world, and they say it daily. All right? Numerous times a day. All right. We've seen people fall for temptation because we're not supposed to be comfortable here. This is not our rest. This kingdom is not our rest, loosely paraphrasing a scripture. How the hell is this supposed to be our rest when we're supposed to be being punished right now? Shit, we're supposed to be dead, this kind of shit that we've pulled. But the Lord is still having mercy on us. Through, the Most High is having mercy on us through his son, Yahushua, our king, man. That sacrifice himself for us. Okay? Only Jakes out there should be ashamed of yourself that have sold your backside to get a few trinkets of Esau Edom, a few crumbs off his table, to end up going to the Epstein Islands to fiddle with little children and do things with animals and all sorts of other weird faggot shit, what a weird PDF file shit, to get a few trinkets of this world. All right, those people, your Chris Tuckers, your Eddie Murphys, your George Lopez's, or whatever, they all fell for the okie doke. They all fell for the trinkets, the shiny things of this world. Okay? Their soul wasn't prepared for temptation. They fell into that hole. Okay? And they've just been digging deeper, all these so-called famous people, and they're going to get it bad when that time comes. Your Martin Lawrence's and all that, they're all finished. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, prepare thy soul for temptation, set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Constantly endure. Constantly endure. All right? Cleave unto him. Okay, and this, when you go through these things, what's the Lord making you do? Call upon him more. Call upon him more. Like a son would call his father. Say, Dad, please, can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? Your dad might not answer. He might be reading a paper, but he might be looking at you with one eye, until, he's ready to answer you. Okay? So we call upon the Lord. All right? Cleave unto him. And then as you believe and as you call upon Yahweh Hashem Shai and you believe, your faith gets stronger, the Lord will answer you. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. All right, verse 5. Okay, so, verse 4, when you go through things and you're brought low for a bit and you feel like crap, don't worry about it. Okay, you're not homeless. You got food to eat and drink. You got food to drink, water. You got food to eat, water to drink. Right? You got a roof over your head. You got a car to get you about. Oh shit, you got a bus pass to get you about. Right? All right. These motherfuckers are homeless in the street. I was driving by. I saw an Edomite in the doorway of a derelict bank, Barclays Bank, which is shut now. Right? A whole bunch of banks shut. Where that's going to. Revelation 13:16. The MOTB is coming into effect soon. Right? You're sleeping in the doorway because the curses are coming upon these devils. Okay? Be thankful you're not in that condition. Now these devils are falling. Okay? So whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. There's Jakes out there that go through these things, that are still being cursed this way, homeless, sleeping in tents in parks. You're not in that condition, Jacob. The Lord is not going to do that to you. All right? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Watch the process of making gold. Watch how these people, these gold, is it goldsmiths, or these people that make or purify gold, right? Watch the process, how they heat, they reheat, and do this, that, and the third, and the fires is hitting the gold, and all the impurities are coming out. Then after they've done the process, whatever they do, right, that gold is put into beautiful, neat brick while it's warm, the liquid, the gold liquid, and then it just dries hard. It's 20, in this world, 24 karat gold, right, which is a pure gold in this world, right? It's not gold of Ophir, but it's gold nonetheless, 24 karat, right? And then that's sold on to whoever wants to buy it. Okay? And that's the purification process, because the 8, 10 carat, your 9 carat, your 10 carat, your 14, your 18 carat has all impurities mixed in it. Other types of metals. Okay? Hence the reason the price varies, because there's very little gold in the 9 carat, 10 carat, 14 carat, 18 carat. Okay? But there's gold in it, but not enough. But I mean, not a lot, I mean. All right? So when these jewelry, with rings and bracelets and earrings and chains, they're melted down, is a burning process, a heating process. That's how gold is tried. You are the gold. You are the Lord's jewelry. Jewelry. You are the Lord's jewelry, Jacob. You elect. For gold is tried in the fire. And, the Lord is not going to wear fake chains. Just an example. If our Lord, Yahweh Shai, was walking in the earth right now, he's going to be walking the earth soon, very soon. He's here. He's with us. Right? But when you physically see him, you think the Lord's going to wear 10 carat gold chain? 10 carat gold earrings? Rings? Hell no. The Lord's going to wear that pure of the pure. Okay? And the Most High, Yahweh, his jewelry, man. Okay? His elect, Yahweh Shemashai's elect, are pure gold. They're just being purified right now. You're going through the quality control process. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay? Verse 6. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Believe in him. Hebrews 11 verse 1. Faith is a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You can't be a believer when I see it, Jake. You have to believe when you can't see these things. You just have to know that the Lord is not gonna the Lord is gonna get you through it. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright. And trust in him. Okay, verse 7. Ye that fear the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yashai, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yashai, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Verse 8. Ye that fear the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yashai, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Okay? I was watching Prince of Egypt yesterday. It was a Shabbat, and the Spirit had it where I was listening to a lesson. I was listening to Manat Tazak Benyamin, and the Spirit had it, when the video just automatically plays. It went through the Prince of Egypt, the free movies on YouTube. And I believe I was watching it probably on the Passover. I didn't finish it. And it went to the song, I think it was Moses' sister. She was singing a song, Believe in Miracles. No, if you believe, miracles will happen, If you believe, miracles would happen. Actually, let me get the song 1 second before. I want to quote it correctly, because it was it's highly spiritual when I was listening to it yesterday. 1 second. Prince of Egypt song, if you believe, miracles will happen. I'm just paraphrasing it to see if I can find it. I'll just remember the words. Yeah, the song from the Prince of Egypt, 1998, When You Believe. It's the lyrics. Yeah, here we are. The lyrics. This is the iconic chorus. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. Let's read those lyrics again. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail. Okay? Sometimes you feel weak, but the hope is still there, right? Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. Okay? And because it was coming from the movie about our first Exodus, and it was an Israelite woman singing, obviously they used a so-called black woman to sing the songs, I believe, all right? Obviously, they need Jake artists to sing. And it's a highly spiritual song about faith and belief. All right? There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. And these miracles are going to happen. We're in the time of miracles. Okay? Where should we go? Verse 6 again. Let's go from 6. Believe in him and he will help thee. Okay? When you believe, miracles, right? When you believe. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, wait for his mercy and go not aside, lest you fall. Ye that fear the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, believe in him. Slakia. Ye that fear the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Okay? You can't be half-hearted about it. All right? You got to be all in. All right? Not 1 foot in or 1 foot out. All in. All right? You got to be in it to win it. Verse 9. Ye that fear the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, ye that fear the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Oh man, I've got to read verse 10. Look at the generations of old. Right? Look at the generations of old. We read miracles every day, man, about our forefathers. How many times I was reading the book of Judges, how many times did dumbass Jakes keep going to these heathenistic practices and the Lord still got him out of it by sending a judge? All right? Now that, now one of the main judge is returning under the spirit and power of Yahweh, his son Yahweh Shai, our king. Right? Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Okay, verse 11, I got to read it. For the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in the time of affliction. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful verses in there. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10:13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yashai is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Okay? I'll give you an example. You could be in a dark alleyway, like you're in a nightmare when you're a child sleeping or whatever. You could be in an alleyway. Oh, you're panicking, right? You're in a dark alleyway, and then you're stressed out, you're scared, and then you see a light flickering. Lo and behold, Yahweh Hashem Yashai in the dream has opened up a door for you to walk out and escape. Okay? I've been in a situation like that. I made a video on it about a while ago. It was a while ago, many, many, many years ago, 20 plus years ago. I wasn't really in the street like that, but I used to hang around with some goons back in the day. But you live and you learn. This is the 90s, And we were in like what you call, like in America, the projects. We were like in what we call council estates in the UK. It was that kind of environment where there's shops on the corner, stores on the corner, and we were at the back drinking. And in that part, I was surrounded, and these MFers were big, right? All Israelite foreigners, by the way. And they were drinking and that, and a fight broke out, right? And I was surrounded on my own, okay? And, and I was young. I was younger, of course, right? A fight broke out, and there was usually, a fight broke out, and usually there's a door that's constantly always locked up, okay? And I don't know, the caretaker of the building or whatever always locks the door, okay? It's like a back door to this, it's like a courtyard of a projects. You're completely surrounded, and there was only like one door that was open, all right? The rest of the other doors, like you need a fob or a key pass to get in. One of them kind of environments. But there was only one door, or there was only one way for me to escape. The other way, they would have got me, right? There's only one way to escape. But what Yahweh Hashem Yashai did in that case, when I was surrounded, guess what happened? There were a couple of Edomites about 100 feet away, right? And they said something. And Jakes went up there to smack them up, right? Or say something. No, no, they weren't Edomites. They were like young kids. Not young kids. They were like a couple of um, yeah, there were a couple of Edomites. I think they were smoking weed or something. Sometimes you get these crackers coming in from outside the neighborhood to buy weed and other types of drugs from Jake, right? And they must have said something. They were feeling bold because they're probably high. And Jake, when I was surrounded by these goons that were Jake, they're coming at me, but the Lord Yahweh Shemashai created a scuffle about 100 feet away. And they all focused on these crackers. And behind me, there was that exit. All right. That door is always locked, by the way. But that day, the spirit of power of Yahweh Shemashai, the Lord must have put the spirit, the Lord put the spirit on the caretaker, whoever had the keys to that door to keep it open. All right. And I ran towards that door while they were busy dealing with the Edomites. And I ran through there and I got the fuck out of there, man. Now, that's an example. The Lord will provide a way for you to escape out of situations. Okay. And I just bombed it down the road and got the F out of there, man. I got the F out of there. I was ducking, hiding behind bushes so they don't come, like driving, looking for me afterwards. I was young. And these guys were certified goons, man. This is the 90s, by the way. This is when it was way more rougher in London back then. All right. Where you had goons on every corner standing on the street, all that kind of shit. But anyway, the Lord provided a way for me to escape. And now and then, when I went back to the same building many, many weeks later, and then I checked that door again, it was locked. And I don't know if the building is still standing today because a lot of old buildings are being knocked down. That door was still locked. So that's a perfect example there. All right. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but as such as is common to man. But the Most High Yahweh Shemashai is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Okay? Now that's just like an example, an analogy, but the Lord will always provide a way. You could have a gorgeous woman, right? Come onto you. I've had that happen to me as well. Married woman, she had a son with her, all right? And then something happened where it was crazy, man. But nevertheless, I'm not going to go into that part, but nevertheless, nothing happened, all right? Because I know, even before I knew the truth, I knew that messing with a married woman or a woman with a child, because sometimes women lie, and when you're spiritual, sometimes an attractive woman can sway you, okay? Especially if you had a dry spell for a little bit, and you're just looking at her and her body and everything, and you think, shit, I want to dive deep into this one, But then you see the little boy thinking, and she started talking about an ex-husband, that her ex-husband was dealing with a white woman or something, and man, it was, put it this way, something happened where the Lord just put a stop to it. Okay, the Lord just put a stop to it. Where the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, if you're part of His sheep, Lord willing, we're part of that number. The Lord is not going to put you into a predicament where you get swayed by temptation. And a woman is a very huge temptation for a man, especially when you haven't got no box for a while. Okay, and you get frustrated, angry, because you're thinking that when I was in the world, women would just come up to me and just ask me out, talk to me, all that kind of thing. And sometimes that does still happen, right? But when you're in the truth, okay, some brothers got that gift where they get women still, shit, some of them even get more. But sometimes you get tried in that way, where in the world where, you're a young guy, women find you attractive, you get women, every 2-3 months you get a new one, or you keep one for 6 months, and lo and behold, 5-6 weeks later, you meet another girl, maybe in some bar, or, or she's playing pool, and then she invites you over here, you want to play with me, and she buys you a drink, you want to go for whatever, right? And it was always just like ongoing like that. And then you come into the truth, then you get tried, and then you have a dry spell, and things like that happen, where you could be in a predicament where some Jakes have been caught and stabbed and joked up and even deleted for dealing with a married woman. Okay, so these are temptations the Lord Yahweh Shemashah will get His elect out of. Okay, there hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High Yahweh Shemashah is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So you're going to be able to bear it and escape. Okay? The Lord won't let you fall. The Lord won't let you, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Eshad won't leave you. Remember, Jake, this is all a test. This is a massive exam. Now we are in the final paper. This is our last final exam, our final paper. We've already got the results. The elect have already got the results, whoever the elect are. They've already got that passing with flying colors. They've got that A grade stamp or whatever, right? They've got that. They're certified. They've got that distinction stamp. They're certified. All right? You just have to go through the motions to get there. All right? And you're going to go be tried. You're going to be tempted. Okay? But you just have to, as our elders say, and some of the brothers have said in Great Millstone, it's straight tunnel vision. Okay? And whatever it is, whatever kind of temptation or struggles you're going through, whether even if it's a woman or whatever, the Lord will give you one. When the Lord, is good and ready. Other than that, you keep going. This is this is all part of the walk. Okay, you're not gonna walk in the kingdom, easily. You're not gonna moonwalk into the kingdom. That's not gonna happen. All right. The Lord is not going to give all that power, all them blessings to somebody that has had it, on easy street on this side, living in mansions and driving, living in mansions and having 10 Lamborghinis like Floyd Mayweather, all right. And then you got one foot in the world and one foot in the truth. And here you are throwing up the goat and drinking blood. And then at night watching watching Israelite videos and, thinking that, yeah, I'm in the truth, I'm an Israelite. No, that ain't, but you're drinking blood at the same time. That ain't going to happen. All right. You're going to, the elect are adverse to this world. The elect hate this world. The elect can't wait for the Lord's return. The elect want hell to break loose. All right. All right. And until that time comes, you're going to be tried and tried and tried. And then when that hell breaks loose, you're going to be good and ready for that trial. It's still going to be scary, but you're going to be prepared. Okay. Like a piece of iron being hit again and again and again to be strengthened. Okay. Like, you're going through your quality control process. All right. All right. I'm going to leave it there now. So don't worry, Jacob. Our blessings are coming. All right. You're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Believe and everything will come to pass. All right, let me just quote that song again from the movie, man. Prince of Egypt. All right. There can be miracles when you believe. Okay, though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. Okay. 1 minute. I'm just going to see if I can get something else. 1 minute. Let's see if I can get. Maybe I might read one more scripture. One more, maybe. Let me see. If it's a law, let me see. Whoops. Damn it. Gotta go to the KJV. So, oh man. Oh, is this the daily verse? What was it? Is it a helicopter? 1 second. You guys, can you hear the helicopter? Oh, that's just the police one. I thought it was an army one. I was hoping it was an army one. Let's get the blue letter. All right. For I know, and this is, by the way, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Okay? To give you an expected end. All right? All praises, honor, glory, and blessings and power be unto Abanoah Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kodash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.